I got a feeling that you got me covered too. I got you covered. I got you covered.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope everybody's doing well. Um, I kind of came up with this the other day.
This evening.
Um, don't want to, I don't need to hear myself, right? I don't need to hear it. I just wanted to make sure I was coming through crystal clear. Um, I can't kind of came up with this idea. So we're going to just kind of rattle it off and you guys can think what you want to let me know what you think. So welcome Sandy, welcome Jason P to this. Um, I kind of wanted people to start thinking of can in a little different way. And the reason why I did it in the way that I did it was because, hi, Crafty Witch, was because I wanted people to think of can. Now, when I did this a little bit, I did it in a way that, you know, I wanted to make some kind of way for you guys to think of this and remember this. We all know this. When you look up, excuse me, when you look up the prayer, right? The serenity prayer, the sobriety prayers, I think what it's called. We look at this and this is kind of what comes up, right? Well, you know, that and when I looked up the definitions of can, there are so many to say that I thought, how can I make sure that we can kind of put this in a better context, right? Right? So we can understand. I'm trying to fluff up what little hair I have. I hope my hair looks better. Just a side note, since I updated the color just a little bit. But anyway, let's get back to this, right? Little interim, right? Think of can for a minute, right? So we all know it. God grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Very, very well, thanks, Gratitude. Very, very well known, uh, very well known, right? Correct? We all know this, but do we apply it in our lives? Not always. So, what I want you to think of is keep this in mind. And mind you, when I look at, we look, I'll just do, thank you, everybody. I'll just do, not a verse, but I'll just do, the verb of it. There's just so many. There's the noun, there's the verb, there's this. For instance, we think of the word can. I want you to think of this. For me, I love to be able to go horseback riding. I love to be able to take my daughter and we do what my aunt did and go horseback riding. Can I horseback ride? Yeah. Would it be the wisest thing for my back to do? Probably not. Should I? No. So we can do anything we set our minds to if we do it and don't procrastinate it. I'm a big procrastinator. I don't know about you, but I am. We can do anything we set our mind to, but it's not always the best thing that we could do for ourselves and our well-being and our health. I'd probably get off the horse, probably walking awful funny, and I could jeopardize a lot with my back if I chose to do it. So I first of all, I was thinking of this, and I kind of had this thought after we were outside with Mocha a little bit, thinking about her and how she is so reactive because of the lack of socialization and interaction and training from an early age. So all of this stuff that we're trying to kind of change in her a little bit, we're trying to change it for the better and make her show her beautiful self without all this other stuff. And we may never all the way get it out. There's things about her I never want to change. Like there's things about myself I don't ever want to change. There's things about you that you shouldn't change just because somebody doesn't like them. But I want you, so when I did this, to go back to that for a minute, backtrack a second, I thought of C.A.N, which I thought, well, that doesn't make sense, because I was thinking of three things. Can you change them? Can you accept them? A for accept, okay? And then I thought about A for adjust. And I thought, well, C.A.A doesn't make any much sense. But if we change that to need adjust, then you get the word can, which can be a very, very powerful, powerful word if used correctly. So I want you to think of this. Now, I looked around the house. I didn't have any jars, and they don't have to be pretty. But there's some people out there that are very crafty, right? So you can go to Dollar Tree and pick up containers and make them pretty. You don't have to do it. You don't have to be this pretty. It can be a Chinese container from the soup containers, right? Okay. And I want you to think of these jars as we kind of go through them. And I'll explain that later as we're going through each one of these. But I want you to kind of keep these in mind, right? Yeah, they're pretty jars. I'm telling you guys, stock cake is a wonderful piece of equipment. Okay. So the first thing we're going to look at is the word C. C stands for change. Okay. There are some things about yourself that you cannot change. For instance, I'm 5'9". I'm never going to change that. Okay. As much as I'd like, maybe to be a little taller or a little shorter, I'm pretty happy with my height. I can't necessarily change that. So that's not something that I can necessarily change. Okay. And maybe there's surgery for it. I don't know, but I'm not going to go through the expense and the pain of it. I'm going to accept it. That's something that I can put in the jar that says C for change and say, my height goes right in there. I can't change the fact that I have a back that doesn't always work correctly, right? So I'd love to go horseback riding, but it's not the smartest thing that this girl can do. So I don't need to, hold on a second. I'm going to have to figure out something so that I don't sit here sliding down, guys. This chair, oh my goodness, I love it, but the springs are broken. I can't change that, okay? There's things about myself that I cannot change, okay? I can't change my height. I can't change the fact that I can't go horseback riding. I can't change the fact that I most likely in my life will never be in a position of working again because of my fibromyalgia, because of my back. I used to be a cashier. Standing for hours is not something this girl can ever do. Depending on my day, stuff doesn't happen because of my fibromyalgia. I can't change that. Can I change the weight on the scale? Yes, I can. That can change. And a side note, I have lost a total of 5.8 pounds. I lost another pound and I'm 275. I can change that by what I eat. And as I start looking at food in a very, very different way than before. If I'm looking for food to fix an emotional issue that is not healthy, that is not wise, that is not smart. So I can change the weight on the scale and I can change how I look at food. Okay. And that's going to make a difference. So I can change what I weigh on the scale, right? We can change that. Now, when I get down to what I'm supposed to goal-wise, right, 180 pounds or whatever, I'm going to say I'm happy with where I am. I don't need to change this, okay? I don't need to change what I am on the scale because I'm happy with it. I'm satisfied with it. There's parts of me like I tend to have a very huge heart and I like helping people. That's something I don't want to change about me. I love that part about me. But there's things that I have said, you know what? Can I change this? And mind you, with all of these things, the answer in your head afterwards needs to be yes, I can change this, yes or no. Yes, I need to accept this, yes or no. Yes, I need to adjust this, yes or no. Okay? I can change the fact that in my family history there is a part of our family history that I don't care for. And that is that people tend to um when they're hurting lash out in anger. They say things that they don't want to say and they're hurtful. Hi Lori. And so I haven't liked that about myself nor my family. And I used to do that when I was much younger. And I still kind of go back to that every once in a great while. But when I am angry, I have chosen that's something I do not like and I can change. And I get quiet. I may not talk for 2 or 3 hours. I don't care because I want to make sure that I can get quiet so that I'm not spewing out things that I'm going to hurt somebody in the future with. So can I change that? Yes or no? Okay. And Lori says, well, whether it's fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, or cancer, or anything else, we present with, we always choose how to respond, including what we ingest and what we are humans making the choices. Absolutely, 100%. I will tell you, last night, my husband and I, we had cake left over when we had the celebration at the restaurant. Hi, Misha, with Patty. There was cake left over, and we chose to freeze it. My husband said, "I feel like a piece of cake." I said, "Well, there's 6 pieces left. Say 4 if Christina comes over, and we'll have a piece of cake." I will never do that again. I felt horrible afterwards. This specific place we got the cake, the icing was really sweet, like way too sweet, and I felt absolutely horrible. I thought this was not worth this. What I've been doing, and I'll be going back to the store on the 1st, is I've been getting yogurt, non-fat Greek yogurt, and putting 2 tablespoons of some kind of jello. Now, I can't do any sweet and low stuff, but just some kind of jello mix, chocolate jello mix, making mint chip stuff, putting at least 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips in, mini chocolate chips, and enjoying that. I feel so much better. I am never, ever, ever doing this again. Not worth it. I think anger, like any emotion, is important. It is good or as bad as we decide the emotions to serve us. It is a choice. Absolutely. It is a choice. And so, with that being said, okay, I feel better when I have that at night. I feel like I've had my sweet. Now, one thing that I will say is I've been out of my mixture with the yogurt and the thing that I'm able to make at night, right? For the past couple of days, just because it's the end of the month. I can tell you something. I have had the past couple of days more migraines. And I'm thinking, why am I getting migraines again? I mean, that's just part of me. I do, but why am I getting them so consistently? And I just took a little bit of yogurt that we had from one of those cartons of yogurt, and I added 2 tablespoons of chocolate chips. Headache went away almost instantaneously. And I thought, there is something happening when I have that at night with the chocolate chips that's worth it to put in. I get the sweet craving from it. I feel like I'm getting some kind of dessert. I'm getting full, but it's totally taking my migraines and reducing them to, I mean, they still happen, but they're not happening nearly as much with having that in my yogurt, surprisingly enough. It was just something that I'm like, wow, this is making a difference. So now we've gone to the C, remember C.A.N, okay? And I put this together so you all can tell me what you think. C is change. Decide what you can change. Okay? Yeah, there's a thing I'm realizing. What you can change. And the answer you need to say to yourself is yes or no. If the answer is yes, you can change it, then it's going to go in a different can. If it's need to adjust, then we're going to put it in a different can. So if the answer is, for instance, I can't change my height. I'm 5'9". So I'm going to move that to change. And the next thing we're going to do is A for accept. I have to accept my height. Like it, lump it or not, I'm 5'9". Do I need to accept the number on the scale? Yeah, I can accept it. Do I want to accept it? And the answer is no. If you're saying yes to things, I don't want to change the fact that I have a big heart. I love that about me. I love the fact that I want to help people. People person. I want help people. I want to be, I'm just there, and I talk to everybody, and I just love that about me. I love that I have a big heart and I meet anybody and I can just start a conversation and talk. I don't want to change that about me. I don't want to change the fact that I crochet. I love that. So if you think about it in the terms of there's things in your life about yourself, your situation, maybe the people around you, whatever it may be, that you have to sit there and accept. We spend a lot of our time, people, trying to get other people that we think we're going to, like kind of the in crowd at high school, we want to spend all this time being in that group, that popular group. And we spend a lot of time, right, trying to get in the in group instead of seeking people that are going to sit there and accept us for us. Correct? We spend a lot of time. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm very much of a people person, and I can go up to perfect strangers. Where I find myself to some degree a fish in the wall, and I have to work on that, is finding places that when I get into groups that I feel already have established people within the group that have known each other for a long period of time. We have a wonderful crochet group not very far that meets up. Whenever I go there, I feel like these ladies have known each other for years, and I'm on the outside wall. And I'm trying to fiddle in my way and trying to figure out how to get talking when all these other ladies have already established this relationship. And one thing, we go to a very small church now, but we've gone to large churches, right? And I think within those large churches, there were always small groups because that's where you got to know people. We've been very fortunate in our communities to find so many wonderful places. Absolutely. We're right here, Misha. And so when we have that, when we're into that whole thing, right? When we're in the accept part, or not accept part, but going back to the churches. As our church is growing, one of the things that I would really like to talk with our pastor about is coming together with some small group so that new people that are coming into the church that may kind of feel awkward about trying to connect with people can maybe come to donut holes every once in a month and sit and get to know everybody in a smaller group. And hopefully some of the ladies that have been there for a while can come and meet these other ladies and make them feel welcome. I think it's extremely important when you're doing a group setting. I really do, because what happens a lot of times when you're going into a group is that you go, okay, and then you're just trying to find somebody you know. And if you don't know somebody, everybody also has all these little things, and it's like, where do I go? And that's something that, yeah, I can accept the fact that I am, that I definitely am a people person. However, in certain settings, I'm not, which is interesting. I'm looking for that other person that I can connect with. And if they're a very different personality, oh, I have a real hard time with that. So I'm going to accept the fact that I'm a people person. Here's where we're going to go to N, to need to adjust. And Lori, yes, I agree. About the unbalanced hormones and the migraines. Absolutely. With fibromyalgia, it's part of the, it can be part of the agenda. It just is. But I'm glad that you don't deal with them anymore. That is wonderful, because they're a pain in the neck, for sure. Here's, we're going to go to the N, need to adjust, right? For instance, let's go through this whole thing, right? Can I change, or do I want to change the fact that I'm a people person? No. I love that about me. So I'm going to accept that, because that's who Mary is. It's a part of me. Do I need to adjust any of that? The answer is yes. I can still say I'm not going to change. I'm going to accept the fact that I'm a people person, okay? But I'm going to adjust the fact that I'm a people person, because I have people in my life, for instance, my son-in-law, God love him, but he's very, very quiet. And I can be a little bit overwhelming, because I just love people, right? And so when I'm around him or around other people with his type of personality, there's nothing wrong with it. I need to kind of draw back a little bit. In the Greek culture, right, it is very common to almost be to come in and somewhat interrupt a little bit, right? Kind of come in and you've got that, everybody kind of talks over everybody. And it is very, very common within the Greek culture to, yes. And I think, Lori, I think there's a lot of things that cross over, a lot. A lot of things that cross over that we just have no idea. And anybody that has fibromyalgia, gentle hugs to everybody. So with that being said, we need to adjust. I need to adjust how I act when I'm around people that I do not want to sit there and go, well, she is a little bit much. I don't know if I can get to know her, right? I don't know if I can get to know her. Because she's a little intimidating. Right? She talks a little much. She's a little out there. I don't know if I can get there, right? And so when I'm around that, I need to adjust a little bit. When my son-in-law comes around, it's very easy for us, as Greek and raised within the Greek culture, everybody kind of talks over everybody at once. But when he's around, I really watch that, because that's not a culture he was raised in. And I realize that when I am around people that are not people, have that kind of outgoing personality. They're more, I can't think of the word, not outgoing, but introverted kind of personality. I need to just kind of just pull in the reins a little bit. Doesn't change who I am. I also don't want to overwhelm them, because if they're wanting to get to know me and I'm all over the place, right? Then they're not getting an opportunity to get to know me, because they're going, wait a minute, she's too much. So we can do all of those things. There's things that will always go in my accept can, right? That I'm never going to change. I can't change who my parents are. I can't necessarily change who my family is. However, I can adjust where needed. Because I'm a firm believer, and I've come to know it even more and more as we're doing this channel. And I there's two individuals right now that are kind of coming in, not only being dear friends of mine, but dear friends of my daughter. And yeah, you have to accept the family you have, but boy, isn't it wonderful that you can make your own, you can add people to your family. I can't change who my parents are. I can accept them. That's just there's no that's a black and white issue. I really want you all to focus on the things that you can change to make yourself better, and start accepting the things that God has made you to be. And if you don't believe in God, believe in whatever you want. But you have been given gifts in this world, right? And you can choose to accept them. Because then if we don't, we look down at ourselves and say, hey, I don't like that self about me. I don't like that. I can't do that. I don't want to do that. We start looking down at ourselves instead of looking at the amazing things about ourselves that we can be. If we start accepting these things, it eliminates a heck of a lot of wasted time in my mind. I don't know what you think, but this was just, my blood family is entirely too much to handle. This is why I love our community. My chosen family has helped me change the outlook in my life. Absolutely. And well, as a foster child, I've learned that I decide who is my family. Absolutely. You can't change who your birth parents are, but and you've got to accept that. But it doesn't mean you can't change. No, accept. You have to accept those are the people you might accept. You have to accept. I have to accept my parents who they are. I'm not going to change them, but I can change around me. I can add, can I? And if we need to, remove people in our lives that are not healthy, then we can change that. Go to Dollar Tree, find, I don't care what containers, and actually start doing this. And I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to get containers and do change, accept, and need to adjust. Hi, Brazy Girl. Start taking slips of paper, putting things in there that you can change and that you want to change. Things in my change jar would be my weight. I have really found out through this month of planning. Yes, that beautifully said, Lori. Beautifully said. Well, recognized who birthed me. I don't owe them loyalty as a result. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thankfully I had a dad who I wish could have been a lot healthier mentally, but I had two amazing parents. And when I needed my dad, man, he was there in force to help me with my daughter. put things in there in your change jar. I can change my weight. Yes and no. Can I change my height? And I'm just using that. I wouldn't bother putting it in the jar. I'm just using it as an example. Can I change the fact that I am 5'9"? Nope. So we need to put that in the accept jar. Did it change that I'm a people person? No. I'm going to put it in the accept, but then I'm also going to put in something in the need to adjust. Because even though I'm a people person, I need to make sure that when I am around people that are not outgoing personalities, that are more introverted, I need to recognize that so that I don't overwhelm them. Because I do have a strong personality, blaming on my dad. It is what it is. So start thinking of these jars in ways that what can I change about maybe what you're doing. I have realized this month as I did that pre-done meal where we packaged the meal and I put the date on it when we were going to have it. And I go in the night before in our deep freeze. I pull that out. I stick it in the refrigerator the night before. And the next day I wake up before I come through with my coffee, in the crock pot goes the meal, and I'm done till it's time to fix it. Tonight was so easy, guys. It was so easy. I took chicken breasts that were frozen. I put them in the bag with the seasonings, right? Came through last night, put in the refrigerator, had the date when we were going to have it. Now we've moved a couple dates, but it doesn't matter. But I looked at my calendar on the refrigerator. That's what we're going to have on the 28th. Went to the thing. I know it's 2 days late. Went to the refrigerator, pulled out the 28th, stuck it in the refrigerator. Morning, I woke up, right? Pulled it out of the refrigerator, put it in the crock pot, put the chicken, the 2 cups of chicken broth, and let it cook all day with about 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, because I didn't have brown sugar, so you do what you have to do. Put some seasoning in, put some cinnamon in, let it cook all day. The house smelled wonderful, right? And then tonight, when it was ready to have dinner, and we ate about 5 o'clock because I knew it was going to come on at 7 o'clock, threw in a box of stuffing. Oh, and midway through, I added 2 apples that I cut up and diced up. Added 2 apples, added a box of stuffing. Dinner was served within 5 minutes. By preparing the food, my mom and I do, beginning of the month, did 2 things this month. Save money. Because I wasn't wasting food. We weren't wasting it. By putting it in the refrigerator and having a date on it and knowing what I was doing, usually it was going to last about 2 nights. So then we were having a break of what night, the next night of having to cook. Wasn't wasting as much food. I wasn't buying as much food. And the time saving on it was so much better. So us meal prepping, my mom and I, that needed to go in the change little thing. We can change that. We can meal prep. We can do a better job of that. Because this what we were doing wasn't working before. I'm not going back to not meal prepping every month because it has made such a difference in time and money. It is so much better and it's so much easier. Now I have to sit at the 31st of the month and we have to start uploading shorts and channel shoutouts. And I'm like, I don't want to be at the 31st trying to do this again. That has to change. I'm not willing to accept the status quo of trying to put a short together and putting it up or having to where did a channel shout out get out today? I don't want to do that. So we need to put it in the change. And a big thing that I'm starting to realize is I have accepted procrastination. Guys, I'm a big procrastinator. Big one. I do not like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Part of what happens with me is, yes, that does happen if I'm dealing with pain on a daily level. It does. And that does change it. That's fine. If I'm dealing with pain, I am dealing with pain in a level that I may have to postpone some things. And I did this week on a really big, I just say, guess what? This isn't getting done. This isn't getting done. This isn't getting done. But when I am in having a good day, I have to change how I run that day because I don't know what my next day is going to be like. So I need to change how much of a procrastinator I can be. Because it's not going to work. As this channel grows, my mom and I are going to have more responsibility. And it's if we don't set up a plan in action for it now, we're going to be doing one of these numbers before. So I can do better. We can always do better. We can do better. But we need to make sure that we're doing things in our lives that we can do it. There's no sense for me to gravel over the fact that I can't go horseback riding with my daughter. I have to put that in the accept jar. I would love to have long hair. Well, we better put that in the accept jar because I have baby fine hair and that's never going to change. But I got my dad's early gray. I can change that and put that into, yep, I can accept the fact that maybe for a while I'm going to have to color my hair because guess what? I don't want to be gray this young. My daughter calls it, it's a badge of honor, but I don't want to be this gray this young. Get something, I don't care what it is, and start doing this and putting little slips of papers of things that you can change, things that you need to take and accept. And guys, when you accept things about yourself, stand tall and proud in them. If they're good and healthy things, if there are gifts that you have to give to this world, do not stand weak. Stand tall. Stand proud. Because they're your gifts. There's nobody else that has them. To deliver them the way you can deliver them. Right? Stand tall and proud. If you have things about yourself that you love or like that you need to accept. And what I'm going to challenge you to do is take especially that accept jar. Start putting things in there and get enough to have a whole month's worth of accept things about yourself. I'm a hard worker. I came from my dad. I got a loving spirit. I came from my mom. I've got a generous heart that I passed down to my daughter. I'm loyal. I'm trustworthy. All these things can go in this jar. I'm a good cook, I've been told. If you need someone to talk to, all you have to do is just reach out and I'll be there. Thing about it is, right? And here's another one that I've been told throughout my life. You're too sensitive. Words are my love language. And we're going to have that too. We're going to talk about love languages. And I think the way that we're going to do love language is kind of take each love language and literally do a whole thing about each one. I'm not trying to drag out a video. But I think that I want to go into really an in-depth look at that Pacific love language. Words, gifts. I really want to go into depth about it in a good way. And I think that it would be healthy to do that. So I really, really want to do that and do a love language, kind of a little bit of, you know, a love language, little in-depth thing. But people have said to me, "You're too sensitive." I can take the too sensitive and throw it in the garbage as far as I'm concerned. Because it took me a long time to realize that my too sensitive part really came into place with I was raising a child that was autistic and that on a whole struggled with empathy. And my sensitivity to things about, whatever it was, right? When I was sensitive about whatever it may be, I was very in tune with her emotions and who she was, what was going on. And I could often read it a lot better because I was just so in tune. God gave me that for a reason. Well, enjoy. Thank you for stopping by. Well, good evening. Oh, I thought you were leaving, but I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad I'm finishing out your day, Lisa. I had to read that real quick, but welcome, welcome, welcome. I've had to look at that going, guess what? I did that. I am that way. Now, I can accept the fact that I can be a little sensitive. Where I need to adjust a little bit is not always take everything to heart, which is not easy. But what I want to challenge you to do, right, is I want you to start taking the accept. I don't care whether it's in your coffee pot. I don't care whether it's in your bathroom. I don't care whether it's on your door. I don't care where it is. Start taking out a piece of paper out. Just draw it out. Shake it up real good. Draw it out. I'm going to work to accept that today. Empty the jar. Put 31 things in there. And grow it even more, right? Until you get through them all. And put them back in the jar and add some more. And then tape them to your coffee pot. Look at them every time. Take them to the bathroom window. Like when we were a kid and we all had spelling words on our bathroom window, right? And go and take them and say, I'm going to work to accept that about myself today. I'm really tired of being called too sensitive. Well, hell, I'm empathetic, HSP, highly intuitive. It is my gift. Absolutely. I totally agree. I get very tired of hearing you're too sensitive. However, I do realize that I need to adjust sometimes of taking things way too much. Sometimes I do. And sometimes it'll be a double-edged sword for me because I'll be sitting there going, nobody's talking to me, so nobody wants to be my friend. And then it just starts the spiral that I don't want to spiral down in. See, if we take these things, the can, the accept, and these adjust, and I would have just done adjust, but C.A.A. didn't make any sense. If we can do this, we're not going to be sitting there wasting our time with things that we need to accept about ourselves. Why are you doing that? If there's things about yourself that you need to learn to accept because it is who you are at the core, why are you changing them? Let me just give a shout out to all the girls that haven't been in a relationship yet or young girls especially that are going into relationships. If the person that you are with cannot accept who you are better off to be single than be in that mess. Mr. Blessed to Crochet loves every part of me. The annoying parts and the loving parts. As I do with him. I don't always like him. but I always love him, right? If you are in a relationship with anybody that cannot accept you for who you are and who God has made you to be, leave. Because I can guarantee you the thought is, I'll never find somebody. Oh, yes, you will. It is not worth it. When you are with somebody, especially when you're starting to date somebody and the thought of getting married to them, they better be able to accept you 110%. Because, guys, marriage is not easy. It is a so hopefully you all can see me and I'm not frozen because the water just went. And the keyboard got a little rinse. But anyway, it works. And with that little side note, while we're on it, on Thursday next week, good. The water lid dropped and it went everywhere. Next week, on Thursday, on my Other's Keeper, I'll be on there Tuesday to talk about my experience with the One Last Hug, and I will have Mr. Blester Crochet on my Other's Keeper first, and then we're going to do him on here. He probably won't be through camera. He won't want to do that. But this is something that is in his accept can. Okay? Oh, there's no sound? Oh, well, let me see. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, I'm back. Okay. This is in his accept can. Okay. Josh was diagnosed with a rare genetic issue. And I'm going to let him tell his story on my Other's Keeper. And then I will have him on here to tell. And I would encourage everybody to watch that and support him. I know you all will on my Other's Keeper next Thursday because he's ready to talk about it. And the reason he wants to talk about it, and there was, and I didn't get to put it up, but there was one little thing, picture, voice, or not picture, but I'm going to do it as a quote one day because I loved it. And this is why he's doing it. One day you will tell your story and how you overcome what you are going through now. And it will become part of someone else's survival guide. And I think that is so fitting for what he's kind of going through a little bit. And I really hope that well, Jason, just go, don't just do this. This is all you have to do. Just do that. And Crafty, if he won't do it, just have me on. I'll gladly do it. I'm not camera shy, not one bit. Not one bit. Just take it off. But if he won't do it, you have me on it and I'll help you through it. But have him in the background. Jason, come out of your shell. Right? You can do this. You got to show off that disco ball, brother. Right? Anyway, I would encourage everybody to come and listen and watch. I'm very proud of my husband because he is going to be talking about something that you probably will have never heard of until he was diagnosed. I had never heard of it. I didn't know it existed. And if it tells you anything, but for the doctor that saw him that said, if you have this, you're the first patient out of my textbook in 30 years that I have physically seen that has it. So it is very rare. And you at least will say, I know somebody that has it if it ever is talked about. But he wants to shed a light on it because it is something that still can occur and happen. And we know you can do it. Now that Jason P said he's camera shy, we're going to be all on him to come on with Crafty. I got you, Crafty. Right? We know you can do it. But anyway, it is so rare that the first person you'll probably hear about and know is my husband. And I would encourage you to come on and listen. But that was pretty surreal to hear that from the doctor. If you have it, you're the first person outside of the textbook in 30 years I've seen that has it. And it has the diagnosis late has really impacted a lot for him that I wish he didn't have to go through, but does because it was not properly diagnosed. So we will be on Thursday. He will be like this, and I will be on camera. I told you'll be there to meet Mr. Buster Crochet. And I just I hope that y'all will support him. I will have him on here because I don't know if they're still doing this with the panel thing and everything. So I don't want to dual stream it for purposes now because we are partially monetized. And for those that would like to support the channel, we do have the super chats up and running. We do have the memberships. We're sitting at about 3150, so we have 850 watch hours to go, and I think we'll get to the 1,000 with the September 2nd is running out with the Gale Southern Living Fall Fest. So if I can do it to get it up here to run it, I think I did great with it. I'll show it to y'all, but I can't wait for you to see it. I think I did a pretty good job. So I thought I'll tell the story on My Other's Keeper, and then we'll come back and tell the story here because I want it documented, just for people to understand. And then if there's anybody out there that's dealing with it, I'd love to be able to have people that, oh, Crafty, thank you, sweetheart. I'd love for people, you guys are the best. Let me tell you, you are the best. I'd love for people to be able to, just, I want people to, he just wants to spread it. He said, this is hard enough as it is to not be able to find out more information about it. And it's quite a story. He is a miracle, that's for sure. And 100%. But anyway, so look forward to that on Thursday. And then I'm also trying to work with Christina and two of her behavioral therapists that were a part of her life to have them come on and talk to you about autism from behavioral therapist standpoint. Hi, Heavens Fire. Oh, well, that's okay. I'm glad you came in to talk about behavioral therapy. And they were very instrumental in keeping Christina in our home and being able to have her there and be able to help us understand her and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to coordinate 3 other people so that we can all get everybody together to talk and have this discussion. So I think that'll be a very healthy and wonderful discussion to have, especially any parents out there dealing with anybody with autism. I think it's a really, really important discussion to have. I'm very much of an opponent of if you have a child with special needs and you need to understand them better, get behavioral therapy in the house. I'm very much an opponent for that. And literally was life-saving for Christina and our family. So those are little side notes. Back to this for a minute. We're going to go back again to this C.A.N. God grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think that when we're talking about change and we're talking about accept, we're foolish to not add in the need to adjust. I don't want to adjust the fact, I have to accept the fact that I have a strong personality and I'm a people person. But when I'm around people that are not necessarily strong personalities or more of an introverted person or personality, I need to adjust that. Because what I don't want to do with people is go, oh, she's a little bit too much. And then they just go like this and go, I'm going to keep an arm's length. Because I have no idea how to handle her. And so I have to watch my personality. It doesn't mean I'm changing it. I can't change it. I'm at the core who I am. And in ways it serves me very, very well. But I can adjust it, especially around people that I love, so I don't get overwhelming for them. Right? So I really think, and I just kind of put this together. I think it is. I think it's a great topic. I think that also another great topic to do would be talking about different kind of personalities, because there are different kind of personalities. Believe it or not, my husband was a very quiet. He's not so quiet after being married to me. But I really encourage you, if it takes getting jars or in your journal, start writing the word can. But I also think that having physical pieces of paper that you can pull out and say, that change jar, I can only do one a month. That change jar, maybe I pull out one a week. Guys, I've been trying to change how I look at food for 40 some years. Last night was a huge eye opener for me. I will never do that again. Will I have a piece of cake? Yes. But not at 12 o'clock at night when I'm ready to go to bed and think, oh, let's just put myself on a sugar rush. No. Absolutely not. It wasn't worth it. I've been trying to change how I look at food. More importantly, how I use food to comfort me. One of my biggest regrets, guys, that I have, and my husband has too, is that our tail end wasn't in therapy a heck of a lot sooner. There are stuff that he's processing going, I wish I had done this a lot sooner. Because when you're carrying baggage around, it's really hard to get to know who you are. I'd love for my daughter to sit there and crochet with me. I've tried to get this girl to crochet. Nope. Go right ahead and do it, kid. She loved acting. She loved theater. She loved just changing into these wonderful characters and just being dramatic. And her smile would light up. Do I want to change it? No. I have to accept who God gave me as a child and love every part of her. She's the one that has to do this. When we love somebody, guys, we need to accept them for who they are. When Kristen, and we all know Kristen Melinda, and I love her like a sister. When we started our friendship, we literally started on here, and then we started messaging each other through Facebook. And she said, I don't know how to do this whole friend thing. So I said, guess what? Neither do I. Let's do it together. We don't agree with everything from certain issues. But I can tell you what, she's an amazing girl that I'm glad to call a friend, and more importantly, like a sister. And I love her. I've never met her, but I love her. And I know if I needed to talk to somebody, I got people I can go to. I accept her for who she is. And that's one thing that another topic that I thought would be great to discuss. And I'm going to say this. I've been lackadaisy on doing stuff like this. And I don't know if I'm good at it. I hope I am. And after, it was kind of when I was doing really well when we were on the lifeboat, because I could ripple off of that. I literally had to come up with things to talk about, topics. And when YouTube kind of stepped in and said, well, if you do that, then we're going to have issues. Whether that's still the case anymore, I don't know. When that all stopped, it was a little bit, it was kind of a little letdown because I missed it. And of course, everything going on with Patty, I'm like, yeah, got to get back into it. I don't know if I'm good at it or not. I hope you guys absorb some of it and it helps somebody. And it gives you a place to come here and bounce off ideas. There was another crochet channel that started up, and guess what? They're doing exactly what we're doing. Place to come, talk crochet, and just chit-chat, make friends. This connection thing, guys, is spreading. But how many people are you missing out with having a relationship with? And it's a topic we're going to talk about because you disagree, especially as we get into, I think, the political scene. And I'm not going into politics. That's not what I'm going into. But the political scene that's going to erupt in November. There are going to be friendships and family relationships lost because those things have stepped into play. And I'm going through it personally now. And it sucks. Is it worth it at the end? We can't do the. I can't look at, for instance, Jason B and say, see, I want you to change. It's not me. He can't come in here and say, Mary, here, I'm going to start putting papers in your jars. He may not like everything about me. That's okay. That's just fine. But I'm blessed to call him a friend. And as I lovingly say to him, Disco brother. I look at Sandy Wendy, and I look at all of you that come in the chat, all of you, and I say exactly the same thing. I am blessed. My job is not to sit there with any one of you and say, okay, what do you need to change, accept, and need to adjust? I need to accept all of you the way you are and love you for who you are. I may disagree with you on some things. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I want to still call you friends. You can't do this to anybody else but yourself. I can't make Josh do anything that he doesn't want to do. He has to do his work. And we have to do our work. We all, every solitary one of us, get into marriage thinking we're going to change somebody. Boy, So far from it, guys. You ain't going to change anything. They've got to change it about themselves. But if it's, hi Mona, if it is their core, if it is who they are at the core of who they are, hi Butter, if it's at the core of who they are, guess what? You better figure out how to love them if you want to be friends with them. And if you don't, you may be missing out on a really, really special person in your life. Hold on a second. Well, thank you. I think you're pretty awesome too. And we want to see you on camera. There, I put it in there, crafty, right? Guys, we have to do our own work. We're gonna talk about this next. The part of that little jar in the middle, it says accept. We better be ready. And I hate to say this, and it's so I think sad, the culture we're in, right? We better figure out that what we're going to come into in November is you're going to have a lot of people that are going to say, "Oh, you're voting for that person? Oh, you believe that? Oh." And you may get some friends that choose not to talk to you because of what you believe, what you think, or who you're going to vote for. And that's sad. And all you can say is, can you still like me as a person? Because all that stuff doesn't matter if you look at the core of the person. Does it? I think it would be a great talk. I don't want to get into political, but I want to do ways that we can help each other through that, because I think there's going to be a lot of hit, and it's not necessarily in my book. Mary, whatever you discuss, I always get something out of it. You're kind and unconditional lady. As I've said, you're easy to love. Well, so are you. And kindness is free. You can literally change lives. Absolutely. You can. 110% you can. You can change a life by just being there, right? You can change a life because you're deciding that you're going to accept them for who they are and the way God has created them to be. And let me say this in the sense of we can't necessarily have somebody that we're going to change, right? But if you see something from somebody that they're doing that's harmful to themselves, or that is concerning to you as a friend, if you come to them with lots of love, you come to them the right way, they may or may not receive it. Very true. However, when we do have somebody that we treasure, for instance, Mona's here. If I was doing something, actually, I can pull out an example right now. I can tell you this week how many times I texted her and said, I don't like this. She can tell you right now. I text her going, I have no energy. I don't like this. I can't feel it. And you know what? She would come back and say, you're finally listening. You're finally resting. I know you don't like this, but your body's trying to recover. I can't tell you the amount of times that I messaged her a couple times this week going, I'm really tired. And I would wake up and I would go through, and within an hour, I was like, man, I'm ready to go back to bed. I'm so tired. I can't do anything. She goes, why aren't you not in bed resting? Your body is trying to recover. You need to stop fighting this. Now I came to her with frustration, but I guarantee you that if I hadn't come to her in frustration, she still would have messaged me and said, are you resting? I guarantee you she would have seen me on video, and some of you did, the day I took Mocha out. And my husband said, you looked like you had literally dark circles under your eyes. Now, do I feel more rested today? Yes. Do I feel like I accomplished just a little bit more? Yes. But I literally looked at that going, and I put it up. I had to hide it because there was a little bit of it that I had to kind of trim down a little bit. But I did, I put it up. But when I looked at it, I'm like, I had dark circles under these eyes. And I guarantee you, if she had seen that, she goes, and are you resting? No, I'm fighting it. Why? She came to me because what I was doing was not healthy for me. It was frustrating. Why am I still so tired? Mary, you're weak. And I realized this the other day. My week prior to Patty coming and the week prior to that coming was beginning of the end of July when we kind of got the message that Patty's rest, Misha, we love you, believe me. That the week prior to Patty coming, or it was in July, right? And the end of July, and just the emotional stuff that I went through from July until she came here on the 15th was a lot. There was a lot. And I don't know if I was so physically tired as I was emotionally drained. And maybe dealing with a little bit of depression. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all. That crap suck. I had been rating myself over an extra thing. It is true what they say about it. When you don't take time out of yourself, body will do it. Absolutely. 100%. Some people may think being kind is fake, but a look at our community by the large, and peeps are generous, kind, such good people. I feel like people are squinching kindness needed the most. Absolutely. Apps 100%. I probably didn't say that word right. Yep, I guarantee you. I absolutely guarantee it, that they are. I go back to that story, like I came to you all and told you when I delivered those chickens to our dear friend in our church. And that woman just fell into my arms, just in tears. Everybody in that church knew what she was going through. They didn't really know where she was. And I said to her, please. And when I went to church on Sunday, she was there. She just gave me a hug and she said, you literally made my day the other day. And I said, Kathy, or not Kathy, but please. Kathy's my mom. We'll name her Kathy, but Kathy is my mom. Just please don't try to do this by yourself. Please. We're here for you. Guys, we're all here for each other. Every solitary one of us. That's what I should do. Whenever I don't want to use somebody's name, I'll just use it Kathy. And then that will know that my mom's in the other room. Well, you know what? I'm very glad I came into all of your lives. I was supposed to. But if you can, if you're seeing somebody doing something that's not healthy for them, that they need to be changing, then yeah. If you go up to them in a very loving way and say, you know, I love you, not come in a harsh way or criticizing way, you're not going to get anywhere with that. But we all can come to each other if we're concerned about each other and say, I'm worried. I'm concerned. I think it's something you need to look at. But when it comes to our core of who we are, and I think that's something we need to look at very, 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 very much. You need to look who you are at the core and realize you have gifts in this world that God has given you. Whoever else you want to believe in them. God has given you those gifts. Trying to hide them because somebody tells you, you're a people person. You just diet down a little bit. Yeah. I guarantee you one thing about me. The same person here on the camera is the same one that's in real life. You ain't going to get a different person. Now, if somebody wants to come on and I do at times with makeup and hair done and everything, that's fine. You will find me 9 out of 10 times, unless it's a church, I don't wear makeup. I don't always have my hair fixed. I mean, it's nice, but I don't always have it with hairspray and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to be bothered. I want to come on. It's exactly who you're getting is exactly who I am here. And everybody else can run their channel however they want. Doesn't matter to me. You're either going to love me or you're not. Or like me or not. And we need to learn how to accept the fact that everybody in this life is not going to like you. And that's okay. Start finding the people that love you and accept you for who you are. And take all of those things that we talked about tonight. Change. Change what you can change. What you feel is worth to be changed. That it's not okay here for you. And if it takes you 3 years to finish that jar and you have to add more and you may have to prioritize them. But I think one of the hardest things we deal with is this middle jar. Because it's easy to change something at times. It's easy to adjust something. But accepting something we can't change, that's hard. We can't always change where we're living. For instance, I love my mom, Kathy. She would rather live in Florida because she loves the hot weather. I can't wait for the fall, right? She loves the hot weather. But when we were living in Florida after my grandmother died, we knew that we needed to move to where it could be where my daughter and where relatives were closer. So if anything happened to any one of us, at that time, Christina getting married was not even something that was even a possibility. That if anything happened in one of us, that there was someone that could take care of her and watch out for her. Or if anybody happened to all of us. And that one person was my sister-in-law and her wonderful kids and so forth. And they have a great relationship. I learned as much as I loved Patty. Patty was really the only person in Florida at the time before we moved. And, she and my daughter did fine. They were great friends and they had fun together. But as far as somebody that could just kind of step in and be kind of not like me, but in like kind of that tough, what Christina needed. It was my sister-in-law. And my mother moved to what was best for Christina. We also wanted to give Josh time with his family. So she moved because of that, so we could all be together and help her. And she's here with us and accepting where she's living, which she's fine with, because her family is here and that is what is best. She's accepted it. She can't change it. She wouldn't move back to Florida and live by herself for anything. It's something that she's had to accept. She'd rather be in warmer climates, right? But she's accepted the fact that this is where God has her now. And sometimes in life, we have to accept where God has us planted. Not always where we want to be planted, but where He has us planted for whatever reason that may be. Now, I purposely, because I was rolling this little C.A.N thing out, I didn't do devotion or topic Thursday. And I thought either tomorrow or tonight after I got done with this, I would roll in to do topic Thursday on Friday, because we're going to talk about change. We can change the day. I can't change that Thursday falls on Thursday. But if need be, and I have to do topic Thursday on Friday, is it really that big a deal? No. I can't change Thursday from coming. Thursday's come and gone. Can't do a thing to change it. There's no worth to even kind of, when I got to accept Thursday is going to fall when Thursday is, I shouldn't spend my time battling over Thursday, guys. I adjusted it because I wanted to adjust it. Couldn't adjust the day, but I adjusted when I was going to put the video out. Because I wanted to hit this first. I wanted to use that as a little bit of an example for Topic Thursday. So Topic Thursday is going to come out on Friday. And that's okay. It's a day late, but there's a reason why behind it. I've been wanting to go live again this whole week. Sorry, just got so advocated lately that I wore myself out, agitated myself out before I get a chance to hit that button. Well, Misha, use your jars. Use the cans. And I don't mean from a Scientology standpoint. I'll tell you that. Can you change that? Well, let's go through your example for a minute, right? You had to accept the fact that you couldn't go live because you wore yourself out. There is no sense of looking in your rearview mirror. It's small for a reason and a purpose. Can you change how you approach going live? Yeah. Absolutely. Maybe you take a nap before you go. Maybe you listen to some relaxation a half an hour before you go live. Whatever you need to do. You may need to adjust. And if you're in the position where you were like, guess what? I can't go live. I scheduled it and I need to adjust it. Then adjust it. I've seen Surviving Together on more than one occasion. Love her channel. Schedule a live and place in there canceled due to migraine. Canceled because of this. Go and schedule it. If you can't hit that live button, there's a delete button. Or put cancel or reschedule it whatever it needs to do. With the accept thing, do not sit there looking like this at your rearview mirror. Look at that screen in front. It's always bigger. Always, always bigger for a reason. You can't change the past. There's nothing you can do to change the past. I can't change the past. Yeah, I know. I thought about that the minute I said this. No, not like the can. I thought about that for a minute once I said, not those kind of cans. I don't want to touch those kind of cans. Thank God I never had to go through that. Oh, we can't change the past. All we can do is change the future. So if you sometimes have to sit there, or maybe one of the slips you put in your thing is, accept the past. That's a big one. Guys, whatever has happened in your past happened. You can look back at it and say, listen, I wish I did do this. I wish I had done this. I wish. To a point. And you have to say, you know what? Can't change it. I have to. But here's the step. Because I think, again, going back to this, I think when we look at this, right? When we truly look at this whole thing, it's not about change. When we sit there and we say to ourselves, guess what? We can't change the past. I think we need to change the wording. It's not about change, because you can change anything. You have to do the next jar. You have to do the hardest jar, which is a jar in the middle. I have to accept the past, because I can't change it. We're putting the accept first, because once you put the change first, then you can change that. Because again, can I change the fact that I'm 5'9"? No. So that needs to go from the change jar to the accept jar. Boop. Can't adjust it either, so it's going right there. Can I change the fact that tend to be, a people person and this outgoing personality? Yeah, I can change that. Do I want to change that? No. But I can adjust it with around certain people that can be a little bit overwhelming too. Well, that needs to go in the need adjust thing. Boop. But I'm going to accept that I'm an outgoing people person. I'm just going to adjust it in certain situations. And I think that if we start looking at life really from a standpoint of, we have to accept the past. I think that whole word that says change the past, means you can change it. I can't change the past. I ate a piece of cake last night. Do I wish by about 3 o'clock in the morning I hadn't eaten it? Yep, but I can't change it. It's done. It's gone. It's happened. Will I do it again? No way. Maybe at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, but not at 12 o'clock at night. No. At least not with that sugar-rich icing. Whew. Excuse me. I think sometimes the change we want to make is so big that it makes it too overwhelming at the end of itself. Absolutely. We got to do things in a little bit more piecemeal. I have no regrets. All negatives were a lesson I have learned. I'm so much wiser and better for it all. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes. And I think also we need to realize when we're dealing with change, there's people in our lives. Got one sitting in the living room. I got one about an hour away. I have had to live with that do not do change well at all. If you are somebody with the autism spectrum, you often do not do change well. It is something that throughout your life you struggle. It was something I did. And I have come to be a lot easier for me to accept change. But at the same time, it's just, it is what it is. It's still difficult. I think it is for all of us. And maybe that's another topic we could talk about is change. But when you're trying to do a big change, if we do too many things and change where they're just so much that we can't do it all. So here's one thing that maybe the jar idea is not totally a bad idea. Fill that change jar with as many different things. Make them small bites. Don't make them elephant size. Right? How do you eat it? Have you ever heard the saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You don't make them small. I want to change. I'm trying to think of something big. Yep, too big you can't do. I want to be 180 pounds. Well, how are we going to get there? There's a lot of ways to get there. But I have to break it down in ways I can get there reasonably without killing myself. I hope I don't get unmonetized for that. I have to think of those words now, without, beating myself up in the process of it all, right? So hopefully I'm far enough in the video, it won't affect it. But we have to break it down and, well, I can drink more water. I can do this. I can make better food choices. I can do prep work the beginning of my month with my mom so I can pull out something healthy within the refrigerator. I'm telling you, I got up this morning when I thought about this idea last night. And I got up this morning and I just said to myself, when I put C.A.N it, yep, I love it. When I got this morning and I was like, I literally just put the chicken breast in the crock pot. I put chicken broth in there. I walked away and let it cook and then added the couple ingredients into it. Came back a couple hours later, added some apples, came back and added the stuffing, and there was dinner. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going back to the way I was doing things before. Because things were prepped. I literally could go in my freezer and pull out another bag that's scheduled for cook on the 30th. I shopped very, very, very differently this month, and it made a difference budget-wise and time-wise. And I'm telling you, when it comes to making sure that they're shorts don't do anything when it comes to watch hours. They don't do a diddly squat worth of good. They do help to bring people to your channel through shorts. Sometimes it depends on the short. But they're just good for your channel overall. We don't spend a lot of time with them, but having them scheduled out makes a huge difference. There was a short I put up yesterday, and here's one thing that you all need to realize. When you're making changes, when you're doing this, if you like the C.A.N idea, right? When you're doing this, realize when you're changing something or adjusting something, it may take a little bit for things to work. Don't say, oh, well, this isn't working. I'm giving up. I wouldn't be, this channel would not be at almost 1,000 subscribers. Well, it's not, it's about 100 and, it's literally 107 away from 1,000. Partially monetized if we had done that. No, this isn't working. This isn't doing anything. I'm never going to get there. Just kept plowing on and plowing through, and we'll get there, and we'll get there. Learned a lot through the process. That's why I want to come on once a month and do a tuber chat. You're liking this, Mary? Well, I'm glad. Yes, you and homelessness. I 100% agree. That's why I want to do not tuber chat, YouTube chatter, because I want to document our journey so that people can see what we're doing, and other small channels can say, this is a possibility to get there. Because majority of the YouTube channels that get to the stage of even partial monetization, right, do not take time to get there. Unless you've got a name of somebody famous or somebody well-known, or you have a large channel and you start another small channel, or you have somebody that helps you go viral, the chances of you going viral and having that all monetized quickly is probably not going to happen. This takes a lot of work to get there. And I really want to encourage small channels by doing that YouTube chatter once a month. I keep wanting to call it tuber chat, but that's already done. I want to encourage small channels that want to get started. Don't give up. Here's what we've learned. And it'll be interesting to kind of go back and go, yeah, I believe, I can see that. I can see that. That makes sense now, right? What worked, what didn't work. But back to that short real quick, because I got sidetracked. Again, I thought I put it up yesterday. It was that Huggy Wuggies with Mocha. And I thought, everybody's going to love it. This is going to get to 1,000 hits. That thing didn't hit. When I went to sleep last night, 15 people saw that short. I thought, how can you not love this short? Guess what? When I woke up this morning and looked at the analytics, 500 people liked it. So what I'm trying to say by using that example, right? Don't be so quick to say, oh, this isn't working. And then just sit there and stop it. I was like, I thought for sure that was such a cute short of Mocha, it was going to go. No. It didn't go as much as I thought it was going to go. And, I'm so don't be so quick to go, okay, well, whatever I'm doing, it's not working. It's not changing and I'm not doing it. It's hard. You get on the scale and you go, okay, I'm looking to see what you get on the scale and you think, okay, it's not changing. Well, I didn't gain all of that like that. I'm not going to lose it that easily either. 438 people saw it. But when I went to bed, 15 people had seen it. So, yeah, she saw it 10 times. You were 10 of them, right? So, and mind you guys, let's also, here's where we're gonna make sure we throw the disco ball in real quick, and then I'll get off here pretty soon. Remember what we are. And I'm going to see if I can get off here and put the shirt up for y'all so you can have it, the shirt. Disco Ball Warrior shirt, right? We can help each other do this. Disco is 100 pieces of broken glass put together to make a magical ball of light. You ain't broken, you're a disco ball. When one of the pieces of glass falls off, we can all be here for each other to help do that. And better yet, if we can be beacons of light from the lighthouse, sparkling on that, on each other, man, do you imagine what we can do in this world? None of us need to do it by ourselves and suffer in silence, y'all. I tell people all the time, the magic does not happen behind the camera. It happens with you guys in the chat. And when that chat is flowing, boy, I just sit here loving to see you guys help each other. When that chat's flowing in the lifeboat and people are helping each other and they're lifting each other up and they're helping put the broken pieces of glass that fall off here and there back on those disco balls, and you all are being beacons of light. Awesome. It's what we all need to do. Maybe to some people, disco ball. But you know what? That saying alone has become very impactful in my life. Because I think to myself, from a biblical standpoint, and I will be doing Saturday reflections. We will be going over there's reflection quote Saturdays. I will be putting that video up as we kind of go through the quotes that we've missed up until the time. So it's probably a 2 or 3 quote thing. I really want people to understand this from a perspective of a biblical perspective. And y'all can believe what you want to believe. I don't want to turn anybody away. I want you all to believe what you want to believe. But if we realize that we're broken, there's a lot of people, and I think I want to have this discussion too on here. People sit there and say, oh, she's one of them. She's a Christian. And the minute you say those words, there's context that comes out of that part. There's a vision of what you are from a Christian perspective. And I want to have a discussion about that, because if you come to me saying, Blessed to Crochet and this channel, you believe in the Bible. Yes. There are certain things we can argue out all day long. Guess what? If I can go back to the Bible, which I believe and my mom believes and so forth, and our family believes is God's inherent word, and say, this is what God is saying, the discussion has ended. You want to know what I believe? Go look at the Bible. But does it mean as Christians, or as people that I think, a better way of saying it, have a relationship and love God, are supposed to be there to... Mona, I have to send you all the keywords so you don't have to do that. That's all you have to do when you find Sandy's channel. I'll have to send you all the things. Because watch her type them in going, yeah, she's forgotten all the codes. I beat you. But if we forget, if we look at it and say, yeah, we can look at it saying, yes, we're that. Go back to the Bible and get our beliefs from. Well, there's certain topics we can discuss all day long, but I'm not bending. It's not me, it's what God is telling us, whatever it is. But does it mean that we need to be harsh and unloving in the way that we do it to people? Absolutely not. I think it takes people away from coming into the church. and hearing God's word. Does it mean that we need to be in a position of tickling the ears and not preaching the entire gospel? No. Absolutely not. If you're in one of those churches that do that, then you need to go somewhere where you're going to be preach the entire gospel. But we can do this in a way that shows God's love for us by loving others. I'm going to say this while Misha's right here in this room with us. Misha, I can tell you one thing. You have been through something absolutely horrific. And you are someone that I have great admiration for and appreciation for and love for, of all that you have been through with the loss of your daughter. I can't even imagine it. And when I think of Misha and I think of her daughter, there's a lot of times where I have a very hard time doing that without tears coming to my eyes, just because of the story and because I know Misha and because I just can't imagine it. I can tell you one thing. When you get on to whatever channel it is or you talk about it, you can say, yeah, I want my pound of flesh, which I 100% understand. I don't know what it feels like, but I understand. But you can sit there and talk about God and love and prayer and working to forgive this person eventually in your timing. If I was not a Christian, if I was not someone who better yet had a relationship with God as my Savior, I would be running to her to find what she is doing, hearing her story. What do you believe? I want to know what is it? How can you go through this and still have this? She's showing you through her story, through Christina's story, Christ, love. See, people are watching us. They're watching us more closely than we think of. But if we can come to God as broken pieces, we can come. I remember there's a gentleman one time and he said, well, do I need to stop doing this? Do I need to stop using drugs? Do I need to stop doing this to come to Christ? Pastor said, no, you don't need to do any of that. You come to Christ how you are, a bunch of broken pieces. Jesus is going to put them back on that ball. And they're going to be broken because he loves us broken. He accepts us where we are. And he makes us new to shine for the world to see. Just like Misha does through her testimony. And honest to God, she is somebody I look up to and admire tremendously. And I had to say that because she's here, but I wanted her to know that. I am a Christian. I'm a tinfoil hater. I'm a Gemini. I'm a truth seeker. I'm a mom. I'm a survivor, and I'm an addict. I'm a leader. I'm so many things to make up a grand total of me. I am Misha. I love that. We all need to come up with, when you're coming up with things that you can accept, you better put all those things grow in that jar. This one thing, and I'm going to leave on this, is a mission statement. And I'm going to come up with one for myself. You've inspired me. We all need to come up with mission statements about ourselves. This is powerful. This is her mission statement. Every organization, every business that starts comes up with a mission statement. Have a mission statement about yourself and plaster it where you need to see it. Those are all things that she is saying she is and accepting of herself. And that's a powerful, powerful mission statement. And I love that, Misha. I love that. And I should probably come up with a mission statement for Blessed to Crochet while we're at it. I think we did. I think the mission statement happens to be the disco balls. What do you think, guys? I think we're doing disco. I think the mission statement is the Disco Ball Warrior mission statement, right? We are each other individual ingredient in a great giant recipe that when we're put together lovingly will make the world smile contagiously. Absolutely, 100%. Mary, thank you for that. But again, that's not me. All the glory goes to Jesus. I am weak and simply hold on to keep breathing, period. I agree. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, God's going to get the glory. But what I'm trying to say to you, Misha, is if I was somebody that if I had not had a personal relationship with Christ, if I was on the lifeboat and watching you on my other keepers, I'd be sitting there going, what? She's gone through all this? What's her secret? What is it? She'd be directing me back to God. But I'd be coming to her, asking her what she is doing. And again, she's giving God the glory. But I'd want whatever she's got. At the end of the day, God gets glory, absolutely. But I'd be wanting what she has. I'd be trying to find out what she has. That's why God says, even in the darkest of things, even in the most horrible things, God will get the glory for it somehow in that. And through tragedy, Misha, your story is getting glory to God. You know, I think of my dad, and I think of his life, and think of all of the things that he happened through his life. And I can think of multiple times where he went through some pretty roughy times. But God got the glory. He made me this way, the one of the few things that keeps me going when I'm down on myself. God does not make mistakes. 100%. And that's one of the things I want you to hear in my husband's story. That was one of the things that he was told by his biological father. You were a mistake. And he believed it. My husband wasn't a mistake. He was 100% a blessing from God. He was here. When you hear a story, guys, you will realize he was here by no mistake. He was here because God had a reason. And it's hard for me to see him and the capacity that he's in at times. Because for a man, especially, him being out to be able to go out and provide for his family and work is part of who makes him up. And it's hard. He can't do that. And there are some things in his life that because of what we're finding out now, it's not going to be an easy road down the road. Guess what? There's nobody in this world I'd rather spend, for his God, as long as God gives me him and I'm here. And I hope one day we get to rock our kids we have some smart grandkids. God's protected me, and I will. I thought about it for a while, and I thought, I don't know if you all would be interested, but I'd love to be able to come in here. I've done it. I'm going to reach out to a gentleman that I did my testimony through to see if he'd be willing to come on. I know we have a small channel, but he's on Facebook if he has the time to come on. To talk about the Amish. And he has a channel. But I'd love for him to come on and talk about his testimony. Very powerful testimony. Maybe do several ones with him for you all to kind of, especially because we live up here in the Amish country. There's very much of a understanding. It's a very powerful testimony. Maybe his testimony may just take literally one show, and then talking about different kind of, there's a Stormtrooper Amish, there's all these different kind of Amish, and I think it would be interesting for, kind of perspective on the Amish culture and everything. I think it would be interesting if he's willing to come on. But I did my testimony on his show, and it would probably be almost like a two-part up until the time I think Christina came in my life, and then after kind of the part up till that point, and then the rest of it, the first 20 years on the other half. And I'd like to have it on here, and I would love for my mom to tell her testimony because this channel, I hope one day, will be there for my grandkids to see their grandmother on here talking, and maybe they'll listen, maybe they won't. I don't know. Maybe God will come back by then. Who knows? But I just would love my testimony. I would love my husband's testimony to be present and up, because I think that it's worth. Everybody has a story, and everybody's story should be and needs to be told. And we need to accept and love, and sit back and be thankful that we have so many people that we can have here for support. That's what this channel was created for. I know, just on a little side note, I know that Alfonso, we love Alfonso, who does our music, and we will get back to Lighthouse Mondays. I promise. Now that kind of things are getting back on track. I know he had said at one point that, I think it was on his show or he was on mine, that, when you get your first $100 from YouTube, that if you don't meet that $100 thing before they pay out, then they keep it. Well, I found out that that's not true. That's not the case. So I wanted to clear that up in case anybody had come and heard him say that, and I will let him know. I asked the question in Tuber Chat today. If anybody isn't familiar, it's a great place for new channels to grow. Great supportive community. I got that's okay. That if you don't get to the $100 when it comes to the YouTube, they're not going to take it. It's like, if we don't get there, they're going to say, oh, well, you haven't met the $100, so we're going to take the money from any of the memberships or super chats. No, they don't do that. What they will do is, if we're like at $90, they'll just hold on to that money till the next month rolls over, until you get to the 100. And then when they do a payout, then they'll send it to you. So, just so people realize, I didn't want anybody to think that if he had said that, and I didn't know, I had no idea what they did if you didn't meet that $100 mark before they pay out. They will pay out, but if you don't meet that $100 mark, then they'll just roll it over to the next month. And then as soon as you get there, then they'll pay it out the next pay period. So that's the way that worked. In case anybody said, heard him say that, they think, or any other channel. Maybe that's out there somewhere that they do that. I don't know, but that's what I learned today in Tuber Chat. Give them a plug because great resource. And that's where I think sometimes misinformation gets out and then people hear it from here, and then you're not getting the facts. And that's a great way to go get that and learn a lot if you're starting your YouTube journey. So tomorrow is Lighthouse Monday. Not Lighthouse Monday. Oh, tomorrow is I'll be seeing Alfonso on his channel. He is having his concert. So I'll be crocheting and he will be playing and we'll talk. So I get to see him. He may have his cupcake by then. I sent him. And we will be on his channel. So I'll let him know what information I have found out so that he understands that, because I didn't know either. I had no idea. I'm learning, guys. I'm learning right along with it, right? I'm not tired, believe me. Before you sign off, I want to thank you for another uplifting show. I also thank the chat members. You are always imperfectly perfect. And that's a beautiful thing. I love that. Well, we love you too, Misha, tremendously. Big hugs. Another thing that I'm going to be doing probably on Sunday. What's Sunday? Sunday's the first. I'm probably going to do this Sunday. Gail was not feeling well. I asked her to come on, but she was unable to because she was under the weather. But I want to talk a little bit, and I don't usually come on Sunday night, but I think I will, because tomorrow is on Alfonso's channel, and then we have Sunday. I'm going to come on Sunday and talk to you all about how Fall Fest is planning to work. So that people understand. So when the video comes up to Fall Fest, hey, Alfonso, I was just talking about you. See, start talking about people and they have ears, right? I just talked, I literally talked about you. I wanted to let you know real quick. I know you had said at one point that if you don't meet the $100 payout with YouTube, they will take it away. They don't. They just roll it over, and I found that through Tuber Chat. They will just roll over it to the next month till you get there, and then they will pay it out. So they don't keep it. They just hold on to it till you reach the $100. Like if we don't reach it this month, then they'll hold it off for next month. And then if we reach it by at the end of September, then they'll pay it out in October. So they don't keep it. They just hold on to it until you reach that. So I just wanted you to know, I did find that out through Tuber Chat today. But I will be doing Sunday. I will be doing a thing on Fall Fest. I want you to understand how that's going to work. And I'm going to probably be trying to work on Monday to go onto our playlist, so you guys very specifically know. I want to make it very, very clear which playlist is our stuff, because if people are going to our playlist and they're watching our stuff to help us get to the watch hours, I don't want them to go watch the Fall Fest playlist and think that they're helping us. They will be by watching our video, and they'll help the other channels, which is great. Love for that to happen. I want to make sure that the playlists are very specific so that people understand this is all Blessed to Crochet stuff. And that's why I was very hesitant about putting up another playlist, but I am going to for Fall Fest. And I may keep it on. I may end up just taking the Fall Fest and eventually moving it. Once Fall Fest is over, then I may move it. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do, is move it to the Blessing Through Connection, which is our other channel. That way I can have Fall Fest 24. I can connect it with Blessed to Crochet. It's frozen. Oh. Oh boy. I'm frozen, guys. Am I still frozen? Oh my goodness. You got to go. See, it's telling me to stop because it's about time, right? Let's see. Am I still frozen, guys? I'm frozen. Well, at least it's not a terrible position to be in. It's not an awful one. It's not an awful one. I'm frozen. I can see it. Oh boy. I'll see if I turn it off for a minute. Anyway, just real quick. I don't know why I'm frozen. I don't know why. Let's see. Let's see if I can get myself unfrozen real quick. Let's see if the camera decided to do it. I see a black screen. Oh well. I'm going to go back to this for a while, guys, till I see what I can do. Anyway, blurry and frozen. I don't know why. Don't understand. Doesn't like me. Anyway, but I will do a video, but eventually what I will do is I will go ahead and move all that playlist over to Blessing Through Connection, and I will do something. It has been frozen for ages. Nobody told me. You haven't received your cupcake? Mail story didn't eat it. I hope you get it. I sent it with the label like I was supposed to. Thanks, sis. You don't tell me I've been frozen for all this time? Shace. I'll clobber you later. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, y'all, we have to laugh about something, right? I hope they haven't. It got there. I handed them off. I mean, if not, the return address is on it. So anyway, what I will do is I will move it to Blessing Through Connection after the Fall Fest is done. I know, rude, right? The Fall Fest is done. I will move it to that. After the Fall Fest is over with, I will move it. I got through what I needed to do, right? Over to Blessings Through Connections. And what I will do was I will set up my video in the Fall Fest playlist on this channel. And then I will tell people for the rest a complete Fall Fest list to go and click on this link, and I'll send them over to that. All right. Well, hopefully it'll get to you. You'll let me know. But I'll see. But that's kind of the action plan I have right now. But I really want y'all to understand how Fall Fest is going to work, so you can understand how to participate, what's going to happen, what I want to make sure very clearly everybody understands. When it comes to giveaways, what sometimes can happen, I want that very clear. So we will do a little deep dive into Fall Fest 24. And I will put that up, and then check out Alfonso's. I don't know what's going on with my camera, guys. Fall Fest. Yeah, I just would have liked to know how far it was before I was frozen to come up with a meme. Right? Oh boy. Got me a laugh, guys. You got Alfonso tomorrow. So maybe it'll pop in tomorrow, right? You got Alfonso tomorrow, and then Sunday I will schedule it to talk about Fall Fest, just so you guys understand how that's going to work on Sunday. And then I don't know if I'm quite ready for Lighthouse Monday. It might wait till the following week. But I will also be doing some kind of relaxing stream during the night sometime this weekend. We'll get that set up probably on Sunday. So be looking out for that. Again, we're at 3150. So Moco's watch hours, we're about 850 away from Nina and the 4,000. So if you can watch any of the playlists, that would be great. Remember, there are super chats and memberships available on this channel, guys. I did set up something today. I don't know if it works. I don't know. I've got to put the link in. It's for Coffee. So I did send that up. It's KO line space FI Coffee. I did set that up. I just have to figure it out some more. So I did add that. And we'll see how that works. It was something Mrs. C's Cottage did, and I did it as well. Just to start setting that up. So, and I'm going to put up the, I'm going to go get off here. I'm going to go record Topic Thursday on Friday, because remember, we're working on change, and hopefully my camera will come back to me. And I'm going to go upload the Blessed Disco Ball Warrior shirt. So look out for that too, because that'll be in our merch store. So you guys have a great evening. This was a really, really great talk. And if you have any suggestions or things that you think need to be added to this whole idea of C.A.N, right, then do it. I'm going to leave you with this. Maybe you can see it. I don't know, right? We'll see, because you obviously can't see me, but you can see that. Remember this, guys. Change, accept. You can't change your past. Let's get that out. We can change anything. Can't change our past. We have to accept it. There's things about ourselves that we can accept. We have to accept. And there's things that we need to adjust. Now, I'm curious how many people are going to get jars out and start doing this. I am. I don't know about you, but I'm going to start doing a little piece of papers going in there. And I'm going to pull out every day something that I need to accept about myself. And I may need to go back to that a month later and accept. There's sometimes I accept my fibromyalgia, and then there's some days where I cannot accept it. I don't want to accept it. Please don't make me accept it. I haven't gotten paid yet. They should pay you through that, Alfonso. If you need to order something from your merch store, then let me know, and I can see if I can help you. I haven't done it through assisted technology, so I don't know. You can also message the company. You can also message the company and see if they can help you. Tell them you're having trouble with them. I did that one time when I was having trouble, and they were very helpful. So especially if you let them know that you're, sight impaired, they maybe help you order some of the things through if you're having difficulty. So if I can help you, I certainly will. But let's you tell me, guys, what you think of this. You tell me how you're going to implement it, if you're going to. They may not. If you need help, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Let me know if you're doing this. And let me know if there's ways you've had to modify it, or things you've come across, or things you've found. But I love the fact that we got to accept things. Don't look in your rearview mirror. You can't change the past. And then accepting jar, I think, will be, guys, if you do the accept jar, do yourself a favor. Go make it beautiful. The other ones, really, I mean, if you look at the jars, I think the most beautiful one that happens to just be in the middle is the accept one. Make it beautiful, make it sparkly, make it shine, and accept yourself with all the amazing talents and gifts God has given you. Right? Yep. Absolutely. You can't change it, Alfonso. You got to accept it, because change, you can always change something. Great way. I need to remind that I have to accept Colorado as my new home. Still need to adjust to the culture. That's a great, healthy way of looking at it. and we're here to help you through it. I love you all. Thanks for hanging with me. You guys hung on with me for what? We've been here for like 2.5 hours, 15 minutes. I loved all of it. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow on Alfonso's channel. Check us out Sunday as we talk about Fall Fest, because that video is coming out on Monday, along with a lot of other content creators that are going to be doing it with her. So I will talk to you all later. Have a great day. And we're going to let Scott take us out. Stay connected. Be proud of being yourself. There is only one you. God only made one you, and he made you for a reason. Stay connected, y'all, and we got you covered. Thank you for having us covered. Good night, y'all.
So proud of being